You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Friday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
As of right now, we probably have a new prime minister.
By the time you're getting to this episode of the podcast, I'm pretty sure Mark Carney will have been officially sworn in and may have even already called for a new election. But he will be the Prime Minister of Canada.
I do like the term sworn in. I always think that's funny, as if they're just like, fucking A.
Yeah. Justin Trudeau's going to stand across the aisle. It's like, do you accept, or I guess it'd be like the Governor General. It'd be like, do you accept the role of the 24th, I think, Prime Minister of Canada?
Tabernacle.
Fuck yeah, bro.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm tired. I couldn't sleep a wink last night.
Did you take advantage of your insomnia like I did to see a little bit of eclipse action?
Oh, I was supposed to wake up Courtney this morning.
Oh,
damn it.
You're in
I
trouble.
gotta call her right after this. She told me, she's like, wake me up when you get... Is it still out?
I hate to break it to you, brother, but it's pretty
Oh,
done.
damn it.
At about like 3:15, I was up this morning. I'd like to go to the bathroom. I just looked out the window. I was like, oh, cool. Like 80% of the moon is a little darker. Yay!
Seen that before.
And then I went back to bed for a bit.
Oh, man, she's going to be so mad at me I didn't wake her up for the eclipse thing. Literally, it was like I was going to the bathroom at 11:30 last night.
And she gave you the heads
She's like,
up.
I can't believe you're still up. And I was like, oh, yeah, there's an eclipse tonight.
Yeah.
It's supposed to peak at like 2:30. And she's like, well, wake me up when you get up.
See, the night eclipses are never going to be my thing. Maybe like when I'm older, retirement age, and I don't have to get up early in the morning for work or anything like that. But like, I just can't imagine setting an alarm for 2:00 to, again, go outside and stare at the moon and then just be like, cool. Like when we had that solar eclipse, that was crazy.
That was sick. Yeah.
That was worth like interrupting what I was doing to go outside and take a look at. But it also happened like during banker's hours. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to make a special exception to my lifestyle to take that in. Whereas the nighttime eclipse, I'm like, are you going to set an alarm or ask your boyfriend to wake you up at 2:30?
The thing is, I'm going to be like, babe, don't worry. There's going to be one in like 3 months or something. We've talked about it so many times this week. The same things happen with the moon like, all the time.
I'll tell you right now, though, you can tell her that, and it's a logical response. She's not going to take it.
No.
She's not going to let you off the hook.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
What's the worst thing you've mistakenly used thinking it was something else?
Oh.
Apparently in the States, there's a huge growing number of patients that are visiting hospitals after accidentally applying nail or lash glue to their eyes, mistaking it for eye drops.
Oh, so like not putting it on like their eyelids, straight on to the corneas.
Like people thinking they're using Visine and then they're actually using like glue instead.
Oh my God. Imagine being the doctor and like trying to maintain your composure while helping this person.
Imagine the instant realization of putting glue in your eyes. Oh my God.
Awful. Like I just assume you find out when you go to blink and only one eye opens.
I get how you can mistake it too, because Courtney's got those at the house and they're like, they're the same shape, they're the same size, right?
The small little bottle with the tiny nozzle on the end.
Yeah.
Just way too similar. Like, you've got to have different packaging for things that are that different.
Like, I want to make fun of these people, but then at the same time, when I was like 14, I went to go stay with my grandma for a weekend, and I used her hemorrhoid cream instead of toothpaste one time.
The problem is there's too many tubes.
They're all in the same they should not be the same shape.
It's that same ribbed twist-off cap and then the flat rectangle thing that you have to like roll forward to get all of whatever the thing is inside. And it's everything from hemorrhoid cream to toothpaste to anchovy paste to why is it all in the same container?
I just remember brushing my teeth and I'm like, this is weird that this isn't foaming up. And then I flipped it over and I saw the prescription like tag on it.
Dude, you can even get super glue in that same type of container. Imagine putting that in your mouth now.
Dude, imagine doing it in the reverse, thinking you're putting in hemorrhoid cream and you get a little Colgate in the tuchus.
Why is my butt so minty today?
0 out of 10 dentist approved for sure.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
What's the worst thing you've mistakenly used thinking it was something else?
Oh, when I was a little gaffer and just starting to make my own breakfast, I poured myself a nice bowl of cereal and put some milk on it, except for it was my Papa's buttermilk.
Oh, that would have been so nasty.
Oh, it was so gross. And it was at that stage where Mom and Dad are, make sure you eat everything on your plate type thing, right?
We don't waste food in this house.
Oh, God, I wish I wasted food that day.
We also got a lot of people texting in at 762-555 saying mistakenly drinking someone's can when it was being used as the ashtray.
Can is tough because you can't see in it. I've seen so many people do the red Solo cup where you get it as an ashtray and somebody else takes a slug from it. Mm-hmm. I'm lucky enough. I've never been the person drinking the contaminated drink. I have gotten a few people back in my smoking days.
The worst one I ever had was when a lot of the boys were getting into dipping. I remember drinking someone's can.
Oh, that's so gross.
And then you just felt it go into your mouth. And
I watched a guy at a party one time. He was using like a Dasani type bottle to spit in.
Yeah.
And then somebody else just was like, had some dry mouth, was just like, oh, I need a drink, and slugged it back without realizing. Mm-hmm. And the party kind of ended at that point. Everybody was like, maybe we just go.
We got someone else on the line here. What's the worst thing you've mistakenly used thinking it was something else?
I reached over for the KY. It ended up being the A535.
Are you talking about KY jelly?
Yeah.
Oh,
sir, where did you put the A535?
I think you know the answer.
We can't put that on air.
Oh, no.
Feeling the burn, eh?
A little bit of burn to the both of us.
So
you weren't alone.
Oh, I was going to say, was it a solo mission? But
No.
At what point did you realize?
She realized first.
Talk about spicing things up, eh?
This is the Brock and Delby Podcast.
Weird thought. You know how dads used to just say, oh, I'm going for smokes, and they never come back?
Oh, the classic, like, oh, your dad went off to the store to buy milk and never came home.
I was wondering, do you think that there's a 2025 equivalent to that of like, my dad said he was going for almond milk and never came back.
My dad was going to pick up a carton of soy, never showed up again.
My dad was going to go get some vape juice. And he never came back.
Dad said he just needed to pick up some edibles from the dispensary, but he never came home.
I feel like that one's probably legit happened. That one's for sure happened at some point.
Might be a little too on the nose.
Yeah. But I was trying to think about like what's the most like 2025 way that a dad would bail. Like,
2025. See, if you go back to like 2023, you could be like, Dad went to pick up some NFTs and never came back. But I guess in 2025, it's probably like, I don't know. Dad said something about going to the moon with Dogecoin and never came home.
Yeah. He was talking about cryptocurrency and just never came back.
Said he had to go to fill his crypto wallet. I've never seen him since.
He said, I'll be right back, buddy. I'm just going to charge my Tesla real quick.
And at that point, we didn't want him to go
My dad said he was going to Canadian Tire, but not to buy any tools, just to charge his Tesla.
Just needed to charge the battery a little bit on his EV.
I'll be right back, buddy. I'm just going to go make a TikTok real quick.
Oh, God, Dad, don't come home. Dad, just stay.
The Brock and Delby Podcast.
The Brock and Delby Podcast.
Fellas, do our eyelashes make us not men?
What?
Have you seen this trend that's going around that apparently guys are starting to get their eyelashes shaved off?
That cannot be real.
No, here, watch this video of a man getting his eyelashes shaved off by a professional barber because he said that his girlfriend said that they were too long and feminine.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. It does make you less of a man to have protection from dust?
Apparently, that's the big concern with fragile men these days.
Real men don't get bothered by dust in their eye.
Well, and like, to be honest, it's the most terrifying thing about this whole thing is they're going to barbers who are using their straight up clippers mere inches from your eyeball.
Imagine getting an ingrown hair in your eye. This is so stupid.
Even just like the trimmings, just like landing in. I feel like I would be rubbing my eye for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And then the itch of it growing back too.
The super ironic part is that testosterone increases more body hair, including eyelashes.
Right.
So it would be more manly to have more eyelashes, technically.
Theoretically, the longer your eyelashes are, people should be like, wow, that's a man right there. It's such a weird fragility that like men have, just our gender in general, on like what does and doesn't make us men. Like the idea of the man card has something that long has bothered me. The idea that you can and can't do stuff, or else you won't be taken seriously as a man.
Well, I feel like the same person who shaves their eyelashes off is the same guy who's like, I don't need to wear safety glasses.
Yeah, that's right. I do all of my welding open-faced like a man.
Real men don't wash their hands.
Real men spend a lot of time in the ICU.
Real men don't wipe.
Oh, God. No. Men wipe. Let's not even joke about that, lest someone hear this and go, you know, he's got a point. I'm going to stop buying toilet paper.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
Now you're a man! Now you're... It is so difficult to know what makes you a man in modern society, because a lot of things that are explained to us as being manly feel like they kind of suck. The latest one being apparently it is not manly to have eyelashes that are too long. So guys are going to their barbers to get them trimmed off.
You're not a real man if you don't want dust in your eyes.
It's just such a crazy thought. Like, it's right up there with the idea of like, I only drink my coffee black because I'm a man. It's like, oh, so you're just poisoning yourself.
My favorite man card thing is like guys that are like, I don't dance.
Oh, you know what? I will put my hand up as having been previously guilty of that.
Yeah.
In my younger days, like in my 20s and stuff like that, I would go to bars and I would be asked to dance, or like all my friends would get up on the dance floor and I'd be like, I'll stay here, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't dance. And now I'm like 41 and I'm like, I don't care.
Someone texted and said my man card violation is that I eat turkey bacon. Is like, does it make you not a man to try and be a little bit healthy? Is that
like, listen, regular old pig bacon is better than turkey bacon, but if you made the switch because you like it, wanted to be healthier, whatever, I don't feel like that makes you less of a man.
Brother, I like lighting candles at night, all right?
Man, that's a man card pull for sure.
It's a
for
real
some
man,
people.
all right?
I always laugh at the man move. Someone texted this in when they go for the handshake, and all of a sudden they're just like trying to crush your hand.
Assert the dominance.
I have to shake your hand as hard as possible because I'm a man. It's like, ow, stop it. We're just meeting each other.
Frank just texted and said, my man card violation is I like to sit down to pee. You know what? Sometimes you got it, man.
Sometimes your legs are tired. Sometimes you just know, like, it's been a while. I'm going to be more clean, more precise.
Sometimes you need to pretend like you're dropping a deuce just to hide from your family. You know?
Sometimes I just want to be on my phone. I'm not done the New York Times crossword yet, so I have to pee and I'm going to multitask.
It's only a man card violation if you don't go back to your family.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
We've been talking about what is the worst thing you've mistakenly used thinking it was something else. We've got so many texts and calls coming in this morning. We had this one.
Well, I was back in the 80s. We were out partying. Of course, I was driving a Camaro car, and everybody was kind of partying, whatever, and we thought we were grabbing a Trojan, and she ended up grabbing a wet nap from KFC.
Did you try and put it on you? Or?
Well, I'm thinking, man, I'm stretching these things out tonight. But anyways, it was just bad. But anyways, needless to say, the deed was done, whatever. But every time somebody orders chicken today, we just laugh about it because that story pops back in your head.
Nobody can't say you keep it clean down there.
There you go. Yeah, very fresh.
But then we had this story.
Yeah, so my sister had twins when we were in high school, and she had to pump breast milk. So one night we were drinking, and a friend went up to my parents' fridge and came down with a little glass jar. And after a couple minutes, I realized that it was one of the jars of the pumped breast milk that she had. And after I told him, he kind of had one of those dumbfounded looks on his face and ran to the bathroom and started...
Hold up. What the hell did he think he was drinking?
Right.
You'd have to know him. He wasn't very bright, but he was really funny.
Yeah, that's the problem, Brock, is you're looking for logic in a man who apparently has long abandoned it.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
We got friend of the show, Matt, on the phone. You've got a story you want to share with us, man?
Oh, boy. All right. Well, anytime somebody starts a story with, I've always had a weak bladder, you know you're in for a good one.
Where the hell is this going?
I was working at a fire station in Edmonton, and on the way to work, I had a bottle of Starbucks coffee, a 2-liter bottle that you get at Costco, and we had to park in a hotel parking lot because the fire station was in the middle of a huge commercial area, and there's no parking on site. So I was waiting for our foreman to get there because you couldn't get onto the site until your direct supervisor was there. And a guy can't just take a leak in the middle of a public parking lot, so I filled up the bottle.
Okay.
And then proceeded to work a 10-hour day with no breaks. It was just concrete pour, masonry out the ass, and...
Did you drink your own urine?
Yeah. I got to a laundromat because there's no way I was going to wash my masonry clothes in the laundry or in the laundry at home. Put everything in the wash and realized, I'm dying of thirst. I need a drink. Oh, I've got that Starbucks bottle. And I walked out to the truck and took 3 big gulps before I finally realized what I was drinking.
Sir?
The stupidest part is there's a convenience store 2 doors down from that laundromat, just stacked floor to ceiling with cold drinks.
Why did you keep the bottle of pee in the car all day?
Because I have a weak bladder.
No. I'll take you one step further. What's wrong with your urine that you thought it was Costco Starbucks Black?
I was very dehydrated. It was a coffee morning with no water all day.
Oh, my God.
If you're peeing Starbucks, you need to see a doctor.
Oh, absolutely. The weirdest thing is there was still kind of a hint of coffee to it, but just the dregs of the bottle.
No!
I hope that takes the prize for the worst thing, because that is pretty damn bad.
I think you might win. You know what? You get the ding. And I don't know if the round of applause is deserved, but...
You win, we all lose.
Hey, at least you didn't have to drink it.
This is the Brock and Dobby Podcast.
How much room would you say that you realistically need to live? Because I'm
What do you
looking
mean?
I'm looking at a house that's for sale in London, England, not Ontario. It's 7 feet wide. Like, it is narrower from side to side than a standard-sized pool table.
I feel like that's not enough.
It's for sale for 1.25 million British pounds.
Why?
It's located in the vicinity of Kensington Palace, which is obviously a very wealthy neighborhood.
Okay.
I feel like the cost is more for the land that it takes up as opposed to the house itself. But you look at some of these pictures here, like, it's a hallway on each floor. It's a 3-floor place. But, like, you walk in, and it's about a door and a door, like 2 doors width from side to side.
I'm pretty sure that's like smaller than solitary confinement.
Honestly, I do feel like you would have more room, maybe less room to roam around, fewer windows, but you've got more room to wander around a prison cell than you do in this apartment here. I just don't see, like, even here's a picture of the bed. You can't walk beside the bed. The bed feels like it was built in the room. It fills it from wall to wall. Paying $1.25 million to not be able to move around seems crazy town.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I do think, though, that we have houses that are too big these days. There's got to be a happy medium between these, like, massive sprawling homes that we're starting to see being built and then whatever apartment college dorm this thing is.
Dude, you know a landlord would charge like $5,000 a month just to live there, too.
Oh, well, the landlord in Ontario would charge you separate rent. There would be 3 people, one living on each floor of this house, and it would be shared utilities and bathroom.
I mean, you want to talk about small places. I know people in Toronto that live in these like rinky-dink apartments where it's like your kitchen, bathroom, and your bed are all in the same living space, and yeah, they're paying like $3,000 a month. It's disgusting.
It's weird, too, when you see like some of the bigger like lumber dealers and stuff like that. Like, I'm hesitant to say, but Home Depot is one of them. You can go online and buy like a DIY tiny house to just find a plot of land and build on, and it's like, one room and a toilet, and you're just like, well, this is where I live now.
But then again, I mean, I guess there's something to be said about being like a minimalist in today's society, so.
Yeah, I get the idea of the minimalist, but I think if I was going to go the minimal route, I would do the van thing. Now that's living in a tiny space that I can get behind, where you just crawl out for the back of the van into the driver's seat and just go.
Absolutely not.
You couldn't do that?
No, screw that. I don't want to live in my van.
Dude, that's the modern equivalent of being the littlest hobo.
What happened to the time and place when we used to be ashamed of Chris Farley's idea of living in a van down by the river?
No, I think he was making a big deal about something that might have actually been pretty cool.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got.
Good morning. And happy Friday. Today's word? Laudatory. I think, yep, laudatory. 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 Laudatory, I don't know. No, that's so yeah, it's laudatory. Anyways, it's relating to or expressing praise.
Oh, yeah,
well, that's a far cry from lavatory. Anyways, that just about does it. Have a great one. Cheers.
So, laudatory could be like, when your dog finally learns not to pee in the house. You're very laudatory towards
That's
them.
always a good boy. You did such a good job, good boy. And you hear about it a lot, too, with, like, things that are held in high esteem. Colleges, universities are often said to be lauded, or sports franchises, dynasties. Lauded is the word I've usually heard.
Also, if you're a kiss ass, technically that's laudatory.
Yeah, well, I guess that would be the proof that laudatory is not always necessarily a good thing.
I do like the way Ed says it.
Laudatory, I don't know.
Laudatory.
Laudatory. It sounds like I got a lot of lottery tickets, but you're like combining it all together.
Winner! Daniel!
Laudatory.
Laudatory.
Laudatory, laudatory, laudatory. Use it wherever you can today, all right?
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.